it's Gina. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Library Mouse. It is great to be here on this kind of warm spring afternoon. We're actually getting ready, I think, for a thunderstorm. It got really windy for a little bit, but it's the perfect time to do this book tag. So this is actually the April Showers Bring Mayflowers book tag. It's kind of a mash of two different tags. The April Showers tag, which was done by Sabrina at Beyond the Books Review. I already did that, and actually I'll link it below. It's the rainy day book tag, and I answered all the questions, so I'm not going to do that all over again. But the second half, which is the April Showers Bring May Flowers part of it, was done by Katherine at Raspberry Reads, and I was tagged by Ellen at Ellen Made Books. Is it Ellen Made Book Reviews? Ellen Made Book Club? I'm gonna check, and I will link her channel below. I know it's Ellen. So anyway, let's just jump into it. So the first one was a book with flowers on the cover. So I have two. This one, now it's been a while since I've read some of these books. So if I have to kind of cheat and look at the back or the cover, that's why. They're books that I have read a year, 2 years. This one I remember thoroughly enjoying. It's a book by Katherine Center, and it's called Everyone is Beautiful. I was looking to see if it had won any awards, but I guess she is a New York Times bestselling author. She wrote How to Walk Away and Things You Save in a Fire. I have not read any of those books. So the back, pretty much the synopsis is Lainey Coates has driven with her husband Peter and their 3 little boys from Texas to a multi-flight walk-up in Boston. So she's changing her life due to her husband's job. And he wants to become a professional musician, but she feels like her dreams have been put on the back burner. So she decides to do something about it when another lady she runs into assumes that she is pregnant. So she starts to join the gym, sign up for photography classes, finds a new best friend, and is kind of on a search for what her own dream is. It was a really, really good book. Now, the other book that I'm really excited about, it just arrived. It's brand new. If I can find it. Oh, hang on one second. So this is the book. So this is written by Reynolds Thompson. And if you look at my gardening video of books about gardening and the ecology and saving the wildlife, you will find a book written by Reynolds Thompson. This is her newest one. It's called The Way of the Wild Soul Woman, 5 Earth Archetypes to Unleash Your Full Feminine Power. Sorry, men, watching this. It just sounds very interesting. Her other book was filled with beautiful illustrations. This one really doesn't have too many illustrations. I love her writing. If you want to know more about her, there's actually a movie, a fictionalized account, because she was the youngest winner of the Chelsea Flower Show, and she's gone on to become a landscape designer. And this just sounds really interesting. She takes you on a groundbreaking journey, showing you how to unleash your full feminine power as you discover from the desert woman, the forest woman, the ocean and river woman, the mountain woman, and the grassland woman. I can't wait to read this and give a review, but yeah, it just came in. So it definitely has flowers on the cover. So that's the first question. Okay, the second question is a character with botanical name. And I looked through all my books and I couldn't really find a character with a botanical name in any of the books that I have. But a standout memory to me, core memory, is from the Harry Potter books. Now, when my sons were smaller, I read them the first 2 books of Harry Potter. They're not my favorite, but I did enjoy the first 2 books. I loved being able to do the characters' voices, and one of our favorites, and to this day, my youngest son is 30, and he still is like, oh my gosh, Moaning Myrtle. And we loved Moaning Myrtle, and I just remember sitting in bed with him reading that book, and she was such a fun character to read, at least from what I remember. And I believe she was in the second book, but don't quote me. So the character that I think of first is Moaning Myrtle from Harry Potter, just because I enjoyed reading it to my kids, and you know, it's one of those books that still to this day they remember me reading to them. Another book is a book to read on a warm spring evening. I don't know, any book is a good book to read on a warm spring evening, but one of my favorites is Open House by Elizabeth Berg. It's just a nice little book. A woman is surprisingly divorced. Her husband asks her for a divorce out of nowhere, and you know, she's older. I believe she might be in her 40s. She has a younger son, like maybe 10, 11, 12, and just the fact that she has to start over is difficult for her. But it's what I like about this book, and why I think it's good for a warm spring evening, is it, even though it deals with her grieving her marriage, it also deals with her becoming her own person. And it's a cozy book. Like, it's just a cozy book. You feel like you just want to move in with her, which is what she is. She opens her bedrooms up for rent and finds herself, you know, in a little romance, and it's just sweet. And that is what I liked about this book. So this is what I would say would be a nice book for a warm spring evening. There was another book. I had to go through my books on Goodreads because I can never remember what I have read and what I have not read. And then I had to look through my Kindle library to see what I had read. Let me find my good books, because there were quite a number of books that would be great for a warm spring evening. And some, I don't know about you, but some of them I read, you know, I look at, I'm like, I don't remember what that book was about. Like, it doesn't ring any bells at all for me. So I wanted to find books that actually, I was like, oh yeah, I loved that book. That was a good book. So one of the books that I really, really loved is a book by Leah Weiss, and it's called If the Creek Don't Rise. It's about a character named Sadie Blue. She's a very, very young wife. She lives in Appalachia. She is trying to get out of the abusive relationship she is in. She's sweet, she's young, and she's inspiring. She's inspiring despite her circumstances. And it's just a really, really good book about Sadie Blue. So that is another good book for a spring evening, I think. And that one is If the Creek Don't Rise. So definitely check that one out. A character that I would stroll through a garden with. So I picked this character because I would love to take on the role of her grown-up motherly friend to give her some advice. So Anita Shreve wrote this book called Fortune's Rocks. And in it, it's a young girl named Olympia. She just turned, I believe, 15, who has led an extremely sheltered life, late 1800s, maybe early 1900s. And one summer, there's some visitors. They live in a seaside, very wealthy seaside community. And there are some visitors, a new doctor and his family come to the community to stay. And he's actually working in the city. And she falls for him. But in the meantime, he kind of takes advantage of that. And there's things that anger me about what happens in the book. And there's things that I wish I could kind of shake her and be like, no, don't do that. And so I would really like to stroll through the garden with Olympia and chat with her a little bit. But she is the kind of character that would not take my advice anyway. But I would still want to be like, no, don't do that. But it is what it is, right? But this is a really, really good book. I've read this book multiple times, and I'm not a multiple-time book reader. But it's very good. So this is the book Fortune's Rocks by Anita Shreve. Okay, the next book this is the last question, a book with bees or something about bees. And this book actually, I really liked this book when I read it. And I think that I gave it to Goodwill though. Or I loaned it to somebody because I used to have a copy of it. So the book is called The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. And I really, really enjoyed the book when I read it. Now, I saw the movie first. The movie is with Dakota Fanning as the main character, Lily, as Queen Latifah in it, Jennifer Hudson in it. It's set in South Carolina in 1964, and it tells the story of Lily, whose life has revolved around this vague memory that she has of the day that her mother was shot and killed. And so her father's hired help, Rosaline, insults 3 of the town's fiercest racists. And so Lily decides that she and Rosaline, who is black, should both escape to Tiburon, South Carolina, where she thinks she's going to find out the secret to her own mother's past, because Lily was 4 when her mother was killed. And they're taken in by these 3 eccentric sisters who introduce Lily and Rosaline to the world of bees and making honey, and a woman called the Black Madonna who presides over the household. It is a really, really good book. And it was a very, very good movie too. So if you're looking for a nice book and movie pairing, I suggest The Secret Life of Bees. And that is the May section of April Showers Bring May Flowers. So I hope that you enjoyed this quick little video, and I will be back soon. I'm working on a vlog. I'm reading a lot of good books this month. I am thoroughly enjoying the books that I've read. And I I have to say what I did this month, I just stopped caring about any kind of challenge. 52 book challenge, nope, nothing like that. I just picked out some books that sounded good, and that's what I'm reading. I'm not going out of my way to find or buy books. I'm going to take a visit to the library to pick up my new library card. Usually I read everything online, but I want a physical library card, and I promised my granddaughter that I would take her and get her a library card. So then I'll probably be doing more book hauls, so to speak. But yeah, I'm finishing up one book. So far I think it will be 3. I mean, they're thicker books, and if I don't read 5, I don't read 5. But anyway, thanks for everyone who has subscribed, commented, liked on my videos, and I hope to see you around on the next video. Happy reading!